And good afternoon, everybody, from Dunfield, as the Auburn Doubledays are on the road in Elmira to take on the Pioneers for the fourth time this summer. Doubledays enter into tonight's game 8-8 on the summer, 2.5 games back in the West, 4-4 at home, 4-4 on the road, and in their last 10 games, they are 5-5. Well, lineup cards have already been distributed at home plate. The Pioneers have taken the field. And let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight, or for the afternoon's game. First, for the visitors in the Auburn Doubledays, as announced by manager Ben Julian. Leading things off will be the shortstop, Carson Gross. Batting second will be the right fielder, Tommy Roldan. Batting third will be the left fielder, Christian Malillo. Batting fourth will be the extra hitter, Bobby Stang. Batting fifth will be the designated hitter, Garrett Prosper. Batting sixth will be the catcher, Jake Bolin. Batting seventh will be the center fielder, Christian Bauman. Batting eighth will be the first baseman, Jake Houts. Batting ninth will be the second baseman, Riley Brody, and rounding off the order, batting 10th, Michael Woolley. We're getting a couple of ceremonial first pitches out of the way here at Dunfield. First time the Doubledays are here in an afternoon. The last time Auburn came out to Elmira, that was a couple of weeks ago, back on Saturday, June the 10th, where the Doubledays lost a heartbreaker in 10 innings, extra inning baseball. The Doubledays dropped that by a final score of 3-2 on a sacrifice fly. But the Doubledays were able to get their revenge a couple of nights ago against these Pioneers. Back at home inside Falcon Park, the slugfest continued. 10-0 was the final score. The Doubledays were able to mercy out the Pioneers as a wild first pitch comes from as we're ready to go here inside Dunfield. As we go back to that night a couple of nights ago, Christian Malillo had himself a 2-run home run that was aided by a 1-run first, a 2-run third, a 2-run fourth, a 3-run seventh, and then a 2-run eighth. Ended the affair. The Doubledays currently on the season 2-1 against these Pioneers. Let's take a look at how they'll line up defensively behind the starting pitcher, Devin Murray. Going from left to right, Spencer Albin out in left field, Kevin Noss out in center, John Schroeder out in right field, Ray Hernandez at third base, Dom Presto at short, Nick Montagna at second base, Joe Muzio at first, and back behind the plate once again is Brody Bartenstein. For Murray on the summer so far, this will be his first opportunity facing this Doubledays offense. The high-powered Doubledays offense coming into this ballgame, batting .273 as a team, hitting having 137 hits, 36 doubles, 6 triples, 4 home runs, 71 walks, 104 strikeouts, and stolen 18 bags on the summer. Team on base is getting on at 377. Team slugging at a 340 or 393, and an OPS team of 770. As the throw goes down to second base from Brody Bartenstein, as Carson Gross, the switch hitter, we going from the right-hand side tonight. Got a base hit in his last ball game against the Niagara Power right-handed. He was 0 for 6 on the summer from the right-hand side, but gets the start here against the left-hander Devin Murray. The Doubledays are in their road reds with gray pants, and the Elmira Pioneers in their home reds with white bottoms. Beautiful, sunny, 80-degree day here in the beautiful city of Elmira. First pitch coming from Devin Murray is a fastball off the inside corner, and we are underway. Well, if this is your first look here inside Dunstone, Murray takes a look in. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a foul down the third base side. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Well, against these Pioneers so far, Carson's 4 for 8 with a couple of doubles and 2 RBIs. Has 4 stolen bases on the year. Left-hander looks in, working from the third base side of the slab. Infield playing straight up, outfield playing just a hair shallow. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs up above the eyes for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Doubledays leadoff hitter. Looking to finish off a long week of baseball with a victory before heading into an off day tomorrow on Monday. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way to Carson Gross. Swing and a miss on a good breaking ball downstairs. And Gross is retired on a strikeout, 1 away. That will bring up Tommy Roldan. Tommy so far, 342 on the summer, 13 for 38. 5 doubles so far this year with 7 RBIs. 6 walks as the big left-hander trots into the batter's box. Taking a look, lefty-lefty matchup. He's been seeing that a lot the last couple of ball games with Niagara's starter being a left-hander as well. As a first pitch fastball gets a swing and strike, 0-1. Well, at the start of first pitch, there was not much of a breeze coming from center field, but now that wind has started to really blow in. As the Stars and Stripes you can see from dead center field. That's a fastball. Catches, no, it does not catch the inside corner. It's taken off the plate for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Elmira in their last 3 games are on a tight bit of a losing streak for now. As here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a line drive softly hit in the left field. Coming in on it's the left fielder and Spencer Robin. And he makes the catch for out number 2. Two-way for the Doubledays, and that will bring up the hot-hitting left fielder Christian Malillo. And he has loved facing these Pioneers so far this year. 4 for 10 against Elmira with 3 doubles. Or excuse me, 4 for 7 with a home run and 6 RBIs. Although the switch here, batting from the right-hand side as the first pitch misses off the outside corner, taken for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Off week next week. Only a couple of games as a good breaking ball catches the outer edge for a called strike, 1-1. Day off tomorrow, game against the Newark Pilots on Tuesday, another day off on Wednesday. Game against the Geneva Red Wings on Thursday, and then another day off on Friday night. Swinging a ground ball, comebacker right to the mound. Heading over to the bag, taking it himself is the pitcher, Murray. He steps on first base to retire the Doubledays in order. Doubledays can't get anything on offense in the top half of the first inning. We now go to the bottom half of the inning. Our score, the Doubledays, 0, and the Pioneers coming up. And we're back here inside Dunn Field as the Doubledays have taken the field behind Sam Huff. And let's look at how they'll line up defensively, going from left to right. Christian Malillo out in left field. Christian Bauman in center. Tommy Roldan in right. Michael Woolley at the hot corner. Carson Gross at shortstop. and Jake Bolin behind the plate completing the back half of the battery. As Sam Huff enters into this one 1-0 on the summer so far. 4 runs, 3 of those have been earned. As the first pitch, fastball misses upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Brody Bartenstein, the leadoff man. 15 hits given up so far, 7 walks, an ERA of 1.98 as a fastball misses upstairs again for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Opponents batting .517 off Sam so far. Just a couple of appearances. Here comes a 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball runs upstairs for ball 3 and 3 straight balls to begin the afternoon. About an hour and a half or so bus ride from Auburn here to Elmira. There's a 3-0 pitch on the way. Fastball, that one taken for a called strike on the inner half. Summer was just getting real with the last week of play, having games in every single day this week. As a high pop-up on the infield. Going back is Michael Woolley, the third baseman, down the line. And he makes the catch for out number 1. And that will bring up John Schroeder. Well, after the last couple of weeks of sporadic games due to weather of rain, smoke, and anything else that Mother Nature could throw at you, Doubledays are finally getting a stretch of games put together as a 0-1 first pitch fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike. 0-1. A run from Sam Huff is swung and fouled off the tip of the bat. No balls and 2 strikes. Doubledays, this is their second appearance here inside Dunfield, as it's one of the biggest stadiums in the PGCBL. As a fastball, make that a slider, runs off the inside corner for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Won't be back here again till later in the month of July. Huff from the old school windup. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs high for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Sam against the Newark Pilots was really just snapping off that slider of his. Really just a 2-pitch combo for the entire game. As the 2-2 pitch comes on the way, swinging a line drive. That's going to fall into center field for a base hit in front of Christian Bauman. So a 1-out knock. First hit of the game for both sides, and that will bring up the 3-hitter in Frank Wayman. Wayman went 0 for 3 back in Auburn. A couple of strikeouts and then grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. That's exactly what Sam Huff would want right here. Working from the third base side of the rubber. He's quickly ready to go. He comes set, but time is called. As we've seen Huff so far this year just get the baseball right back and just make a statement right back on the mound. He's already working at a good pace. One of the more faster workers on this Doubledays pitching staff. There's the first pitch, fastball taken for a called strike on the inside corner. Well, it's been a tale of 2 different seasons for the Pioneers this year, as the home and away records are very separate. As Huff deals a pitch, fastball misses upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. At home, Elmira is batting .214, 55 for .257. They've hit 14 doubles. Haven't hit a single triple or home run in the ballpark, as a fastball sent on the ground over the third. Diving stop, Woolley gets to his feet, looks at second, and decides just to go to first base to outs. And I put a little star on the third baseman, Michael Woolley, with a diving stop to the glove side. 2 away now, and that will bring up the 4-hitter, Joe Muzio. John Schroeder moves up 90 feet into scoring position with 2 away. Elmira's only been able to score 40 this summer at home, as a fastball sent foul back to the screen. No balls and a strike. Going back to home a couple of nights ago, Elmira was leading or at least had a share of the lead in the West going into the ball game against Auburn, as an 0-1 pitch is a good slider taken at the knees for a called strike. 0-2. Since then, that 3-game losing skid has dropped them back down into 4th place, only a game back of Jamestown, Batavia, and Niagara. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way, swinging a foul off the tip of the glove of Bolin, so we'll try it again at 0-2. A little bit of a different lineup for the Pioneers, as well as only a couple of guys playing tonight who have played against the Doubledays back on Friday in that 10-0 loss. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. That fastball runs. Don't know where that one quite missed. Must have just been a little bit upstairs. Changes to a ball and 2 strikes. Little cloud coverage now starting to go over the outfield, but the infield dirt is still in the sunshine. Couple of looks. There goes the runner taking off for third. The pitch is taken high. The throw down to third base and not in time. That is stolen base number 5 on the summer so far for John Schroeder, and he's 90 feet third base with 2 away. Now the count has also run full at 3-2. Huff comes set. Here's the 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball taken upstairs, and never mind, that was actually ball 2. Now it is a full count at 3-2 as we now have cloud coverage completely over the ballpark. Some dark gray clouds just rolled in over the stadium. Full count at 3-2. Huff set. Takes a look at the runner at third. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. A fastball running above the hands for strikeout number 1 of the afternoon for Sam Huff. He leaves a runner stranded in scoring position. We now go to the top half of the second inning. The Doubledays and the Pioneers still 0-0. And we're back here in the top half of the second inning. Doubledays will have 4, 5, and 6. Bobby Stang, Garrett Prosper, and Jake Bolin due up in order. And over the last couple of games for the Doubledays versus these Pioneers, it has been a slugfest. Only one game was a pitcher's duel. That was that 3-2 loss back here inside Dunfield. But other than that, Doubledays hitters have taken quite advantage of lackluster Pioneer pitching, as first pitch to Bobby Stang is sent in the air to shallow right field. Going down the line is Schroederer, and he's in foul territory. Makes the catch for out number 1 on Bobby Stang, and that will bring up Garrett Prosper with 1 away. For Elmira, pitching against the Doubledays in 3 games, they have a team ERA of 10.50 in 24 innings pitched. They've given up 34 hits, 30 runs. 28 of those runs were earned. They've walked 19. They've struck out 7, given up 1 home run, 10 doubles, 4 triples, and opponents in the Doubledays hitting .576. As a first pitch fastball catches the knees for a called strike. 0-1 on Garrett Prosper. Another lefty-lefty matchup for the Doubledays extra hitter. Numbers in 2 record at home. 3-5 on the road. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way to Prosper. Swing and a miss. Fastball running in on the hands. And Prosper sent packing 2 quick outs for the Doubledays, and that will bring up Jake Bolin. Well, for Jake, he's still looking for that first hit since June the 3rd in PGCBL play. He got a couple of hits back on Thursday night against the Syracuse Saltcats, including an RBI double slashed down the third base line. Murray looking for another quick 1-2-3 inning as the first pitch slider sent foul look out into the Doubledays dugout. Jake Bolin was well ahead of a first pitch breaking ball and slashing it foul. Plenty of foul territory here inside Dunn Field with the dugouts playing good 20 to 30 yards away from the third base line as a 0-1 slider misses down low for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. These dugouts also don't have any railings. 1-1 fastball misses outside for ball 2, 2-1. Well, it's a very different ballpark as well. It looks like the grass is starting to dry up a little bit on the infield with a little bit of a browner tint to it. Outfield grass still nice and green. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a chopper foul down the third base side. And we'll try it now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bolin's going to walk it off just a little bit. Looks like it got a clip of the shin guard that he wears on the left foot. Infield shifted just a hair to the pull side with Don Presser, the shortstop, playing on the outfield grass. The left-hander looks in, gets his sign. Bolin set in the box. Long pause. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Devin Murray so far this afternoon. And the Doubledays hitter set down in order once again. We now go to the bottom half of the second inning. Both sides still locked 0-0. Picking things up here in the bottom half of the second inning. Doubledays and the Pioneers 0-0 so far in this one. As Jake Keller, the extra hitter, steps in to lead things off. It is 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Pioneers against Sam Huff. Going into his second inning of work as a first pitch breaking ball catches the outside corner for a called first strike. And Keller with a little pause before working his way back in. Mentioned Sam with that really good slider as he was ready to go once again, having to wait for the batter to look up. And that's been a problem over the last couple of games that you see in Major League Baseball with batters starting to figure out that you don't have to have the pitcher ready to come set until you have your eyes on him as a slider misses upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and a strike. Well, the pitch clock rule has certainly sped up the game as well at that Major League level, but certain players have been able to take more advantage than others as a good fastball misses off the plate away for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Hitters without runners on have only 15 seconds to work with as 2-1 pitch is a fastball taken at the knees on the outside corner for a called strike 2. Batter has to have his eyes up and looking at the pitcher by that 8th second. So a lot of batters right now, especially when they're down 2 strikes or in a full count, trying to mess with the pitcher's timing. As Huff slows his windup down and the pitch is swung on and cued foul. Close to the Pioneers dugout down the first base side. Well, Huff is also playing a little mind games as well, working quick onto the rubber and then slowing down the windup. Doesn't have lights out stuff, but anytime you can affect timing of batters, certainly plays a factor. As a 2-2 slider swing and a miss, a good one at the hands. Second strikeout in as many innings for Sam Huff. 1 away, and that will bring up the third baseman, Ray Hernandez. Well, things have been a struggle for Ray Hernandez versus Auburn pitching. 1 for 11 against the Double A's. That one hit was only a single. That was back in the ball game here in Elmira as a high fly ball sent deep to center field. Going back is Christian Baumann, still going back, ranging. Can't make the catch. It falls in the grass for a double. Rounding second. He wants 3. The throw is not going to get cut off, and just like that, Ray Hernandez shows off the power, driving it to dead center field. It's a 1-out triple for the Pioneers in the second inning. First triple of the summer for Ray Hernandez, and now another runner sits 90 feet away for Dom Presto. Presto hitting a .148 on the summer so far as a first pitch fastball taken on the hands for a called strike 0-1. Doubledays defense playing back. Outfield playing straight up. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball up the middle. Carson Gross has it on the glove side, sends a hard throw over to first base, and it's in time. And the first run of the ball game scores on the RBI ground out to short. 1-0 Pioneers lead as that'll bring up Kevin Noss with 2 away. First pitch called strike on the outer half. And that siren might be one of the loudest things I've ever heard in my life, as a slider misses the outside corner for a called ball 1-1. Every time Elmira may score a run today, we are shutting off the microphones and letting the siren bleed out. Here comes a 1-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Another good slider off the outside edge. And Huff is now 1 strike away from getting the Doubledays out of the second inning. Crowd here in Elmira starting to get back into it again. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball misses up and inside for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That wind still quite swirling as Christian Baumann was going back for that deep fly ball. Turned his back on the infield like Willie Mays and just couldn't track the ball down as a fastball misses outside for ball 3. Full count of 3-2 to Kevin Noss. Noss 3 for 15 so far, batting .200, 5 runs scored. Here comes Huff's 3-2 pitch to the plate. Swing, pop up on the shallow outfield. Moving in on it is Tommy Roldan. He makes the catch for out number 3, but Elmira strikes first. They lead it 1-0 going to the top half of the third inning. And picking things up here in the top half of the third inning, the Doubledays currently trailing the Elmira Pioneers 1-0. As Christian Bauman will lead things off for the Doubledays. The 7, 8, and 9 due up with the lefty-lefty matchup first off. Here comes Murray's first pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, a slider down away. Gets Bauman to chase. For Christian so far, what a really good hot start. Couple of triples, couple of bases clearing triples against these Pioneers. Back in that first weekend of the season as a fastball sent foul down the first base side. And the count goes to 0-2. It's been a real struggle over the last couple of days, though, for Bauman. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. A slider chased after in the dirt. And Bauman's retired on the strikeout. Back 3 strikeouts in a row for Devin Murray, and that will bring up Jake Houts. For Houts so far this summer, it's as well has been a little bit of a struggle, but over the last couple of days, though, we've started to see the potential come in. Houts went 2 for 3 against the Syracuse Saltcats. Had a break in 0 for 20 to get it. Currently in PGCBL play, sitting on an 0 for 18. Looking for his first hit since opening day back on June the 2nd in Geneva as a slider chased in the dirt on the hands for a swinging strike, 1-1 the count. For the Doubledays against left-handed pitching so far, they've been batting .241 on the season. They're able to score 16 runs as a fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike at 1-2. 20 hits, 4 doubles, 11 runs batted in. 19 strikeouts. That number certainly set to go up over the course of this one as a fastball sent foul back to the screen at a ball and 2 strikes. Well, Murray so far through this first time through the order is really starting to carve up these Auburn hitters who just haven't had an answer for that good slider. Murray with a pause. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs up and away for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Houts digs back into the right side of the batter's box. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Slider sent foul down the first base side. And we'll try it again at 2-2. And time is called as looks like Houts might have snapped the bat as he wants to get a new piece of lumber out. Can't quite tell. Didn't sound like it hit off the end of the bat. Might have gotten more on the hands with the fastball running. With a little arm side action from Murray. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield playing deep. The pitch on the way to Houts. Swinging a ground ball over to shortstop. Takes a nice hop right to the chest of Dom Presto. Sends a throw over to first base. 2 gone as that will bring up Riley Barati, the second baseman. O'Reilly so far this summer, he's still looking for his first official hit. Was able to secure one on Thursday night against the Syracuse Saltcats. Made his Doubledays debut here inside Dunfield back in that early June 10th game. First pitch fastball misses down low with a swipe of the glove from Brody Bartenstein. 1 ball and no strikes. A couple of rain drizzles have started to drop from the sky, but it shouldn't affect any play on the field as Brody sends a fly ball out into right field. Going over on the arm side is John Schroeder into the gap, and he makes the catch to retire the Doubledays in order yet again. Doubledays offense looking for answers here as they're shut out so far. 1-0 our score in favor of the Pioneers. And we're picking things up here in the bottom half of the third inning. The Doubledays trailing the Pioneers 1-0. As we're just getting set for the first third of this ball game to be over, as Sam Huff back out on the mound. First pitch slider catches the inside corner for a called strike, 0-1. It's been an interesting season so far for Auburn on both sides of the ball. The hitting side has been quite loud over the last couple of days as a slider misses outside for ball one, 1 strike. As the rain's starting to make a more present appearance here inside Dunfield. 1-1 pitch is sent foul down the first base side, out of play. Well, especially this week, the offense really started to find its groove, especially with that 16-0 win. As now it looks like that rain is starting to fall down just a little bit harder. My goodness, how about this for a summer season already? Here comes a 1-2 pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball over to shortstop. Carson Gross fields it on a hop to the chest, throws a high throw, and it gets into the dugout. And that will put a free runner at second base. So third error of the summer for Carson Gross. Puts a runner in scoring position with nobody out, and that will bring up the left fielder, Spencer Aubin. Oh, with this heavy rain starting to come in, now you have to play the question on if you're able to still withstand a good grip on a baseball as a fastball sent foul over our heads out into the parking lot behind us. Oh, it's just a quick couple of bursts of rain. Pellets just starting to fly down as some majority of the crowd has decided to take shelter from the undercovered areas down by the dugouts into the larger covered pavilion as a fly ball down the right field line sent foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Doubledays entering into this game with 12 errors so far on the season. Make that a 13 after that last throw. Slider misses down low in the dirt for ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, it's just this season has been quite weird when the pitching staff has been dialed in. The hitting core has not been able to produce, and then when the hitting core has been on fire, the pitching staff has been a little bit on the tailing end as a throw to first base again gets on by Jake Houts. Back-to-back throwing errors by Carson Gross. Back-to-back throwing errors by the Doubledays shortstop. Puts another runner in scoring position with still nobody out. Back-to-back ground balls hit. Now bring the top of the order back up with Brody Bartenstein. Once again, the rain has started to come crashing the party here inside Dunfield. Getting the infield dirt more and more wet. That could have been a possibility of what happened to the baseball. Gross just letting another one sail as the first pitch fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike, 0-1. Well, Jake Houts, first baseman, stands pretty tall at just a little over 6'1". Had a pretty good effort on the jump, too. Couldn't bring it back in. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball running above the hands gets Bartenstein. An 0-2 hole. Error number 14 now on the summer so far for the Auburn defense. Fastball looks out as that one was running up and inside above the barrel of the bat and above the helmet of Bartenstein. Huff goes and grabs a little bit of the rosin bag that's behind the mound. A couple of wipes of the pants as well, or taking himself back onto the rubber. Spencer Aubin, the runner at second base, reached on the air. Couple looks. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a fly ball hit out to right field. Moving over towards the line, Roldan. He makes the catch. Runner tags. Here's the throw to third base, and on a hop tag applied, not in time. Just getting ahead of the throw is Spencer Aubin, taking a risk on the arm of Tommy Roldan. One away, a runner moves up 90 feet to third base. And that will bring up John Schroeder. Base hit and a stolen bag was left stranded at third base. Back in the bottom half of the first inning. Huff now working out of the windup. Here's the first pitch. Fastball taken at the knees for a called first strike, 0-1. Left-hander digging in the outfield for Auburn, playing a little more to the pull side down the right field. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a foul off the shoe tops. And that one's going to sting a little bit as Schroeder starts to take a walk down by the first base dugout before shaking out the right leg. Despite wearing that shin guard, we've seen a couple of guys already the last couple of games foul ball right off their shoe tops. And you have the protective padding there for a reason, but it still hurts. First pitch was just right a tick after 4:05. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive into left field. Going back is Christian Melillo. He can't make the catch. It's going to bang off the wall. Here comes a run and a score and into second base with a double. It's John Schroeder. And another run comes across the score. It's now 3-0 Pioneers. So 2 runs in for Elmira here in the bottom half of the third inning. Now we'll bring up Frank Wayman, the designated hitter, 0 for 1 as a first pitch slider. Catches the knees for a called first strike, 0-1. Huff does get hit around just a little bit. We mentioned the opponent's average hitting .517 as another good slider catches the inside corner for a called strike, 0-2. We know guys are going to be able to put the ball in play, and theoretically, a couple of ground balls should have been out of this inning already. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball taken up above the letters for ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rain still coming in here inside Elmira. There's only a 20% chance of rain on the forecast. Trolley at second. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing. Little looper. That's going to get down for a base hit. Getting the windmill around third. Here comes Schroeder on to score as a throw comes in. It is now 4-0 Pioneers. As this inning is starting to get away from the Doubledays. And time is called as Steve LaRose makes his way out to the mound. He's going to have a quick conversation with Sam Huff and Jake Bolin. And we haven't seen a guy start to make his way into the bullpen yet for the Doubledays. But it looked like this was going to be a relatively quick inning with a couple of ground balls to the shortstop and then a couple of throw-in errors and then a couple of base hits and then a little blooper has put this game where we're at right now at 4-0. So 3 runs in for Elmira on 5 hits so far this afternoon. And that brings up the left-hand hitting Joe Muzio. Muzio, a strikeout victim to retire the side in the first. First pitch slider misses down and in for ball 1 on Sam Huff. Last night the Doubledays were locked in a good pitching battle with the Niagara Power as a check swing foul down the third base side. Ball and a strike even. That was a final score of 3-1. The Doubledays had plenty of opportunities, sending 12 men on base, but unable to capitalize on any of them. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Slider misses off the inside corner for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. When the Doubledays, when they get back up the bat, they'll be 10-1-2 with Michael Woolley, Carson Gross, and Tommy Roldan. Two balls and a strike with one away. 2 hits in this one so far as a fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike 2, 2-2. 2 errors, 2 hits, and 3 runs have scored so far in the bottom half of the inning. Huff looks in, gets his sign. Runner and Wayman comes and starts to take off to second. No one's covering second. And things are starting to go bad for worse for the Doubledays defensively as Simon Aluko has made his way towards the bullpen. As a stolen base, first one of the summer for Frank Wayman. Just runs right in the face of this infield. And for Elmira this summer, they are certainly one of the more aggressive base running teams. 53 stolen bases so far as a foul tip staying alive. Imagine the home field advantage we haven't seen quite prevalent in any other ball club except for Elmira this summer. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Left-hander in Muzio set. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball sent foul towards the first base coach's box. And the home plate umpire needs a new bundle of baseballs from the Elmira dugout. So a new baseball gets thrown back into play. The Doubledays have a runner to leave stranded on second base with 1 out. Here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Huff looks in. Here comes a 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. A good changeup pulls the string, 2 away as Muzio is retired. Strikeout number 3 in the ball game so far with 2 outs, and that will bring up Jake Keller, the extra hitter. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That was back in the 2nd inning. Huff looks in at second. Healthy lead over there. Is Schroeder pitch on the way. Fastball taken for a called strike on the outer third for a called strike. Wayman, the runner at second base with 2 outs. Keller with 1 RBI so far this season. 8 for 29 entering into the ballgame. Roddy working at the bag. Huff keeping a look. Little spin move sends a throw back to the bag. And there standing is Wayman. Light bit of rain still drizzling onto the playing surface. No balls in a strike. Pitch on the way from Huff. Slider catches the letters for a called strike 2, 0-2. I don't think we've seen a hitter get more animated on a called strike than Jake Keller so far over the last couple of days. Every time there's been a borderline pitch, there's been a little head shake or a head nod or a little gasp. The 0-2 pitch, swinging a foul back to the screen, still 0-2. And the home plate umpire is going to get a new set of baseballs from the Elmira bat boy. Wind blowing out to left field so far in this one. 325 down the right field and left field lines, and it jets out to about 380, 390 to dead center field. Still have to hit over a 20-foot wall for a home run. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way in the dirt, and it gets away from Bolin just far enough for Frank Wayman to move up to third base with 2 away. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 3 runs in so far in the bottom half of the third inning on 2 hits. Big lead at third base off the bag is Wayman. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing a ground ball foul down the first base side. And we'll try it again at 1-2. Simon Aluko has now grabbed a baseball and a glove and has grabbed a bullpen catcher in Benji Reese. Looking to pause the 1-2 pitch on the way. Slider missing down low and away for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Keller's worked the count even. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Pitch on the way from Huff. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the game for Jay Keller. And he finally retires this side. But the Pioneers, they strike and get 3 more. We now go to the top half of the 4th inning. Doubledays trailing 4-0. Well, the rain's still drizzling on Dunn Field here in Elmira, New York, as the Doubledays currently trailing the Pioneers 4-0 as we begin the top half of the 4th inning with Michael Woolley leading things off. Woolley 1 for 3 so far against these Pioneers so far this season. He's been a real specialist against left-handed pitching, as a first pitch slider misses down low for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Michael got got 1 hit against a left-hander in last night's ball game, as he sends a little chopper over to third base. Ray Hernandez on the run, low throw, and not in time. Michael Woolley is able to leg out an infield single. First hit for the Doubledays here in this ball game, and that will flip the order back to the top, as that will bring up Carson Gross. Well, Carson looking to make up for the couple of throwing errors back in the bottom half of the 3rd inning that led to 2 runs scoring. Good speed aboard at first with Michael Woolley. 1 stolen bag on the year so far. Left-hander deals the first pitch. Fastball with Carson Gross squaring around, pulls it back as the ball misses outside for ball 1, 1-0. Ben Julian still sending a couple of signs into Carson Gross. Woolley short lead at first base, slowly extending. 1-0, slider. That one catches the knees for a called strike 1 at 1-1. Well, even down 4, it looks like the Doubledays are still going to be as aggressive as possible to see whatever runs they can scratch back here and make their way back into the ball game. Only down 4 early. 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed on a good slider on the back foot. Gross is down to a 1-2 count. First base runner for the Doubledays tonight. And Michael Woolley aboard. Murray with a pause. Look at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a foul out of play. And we'll try it again at 1-2. Well, Carson was able to put together a really good at-bat last night with the Doubledays tying run aboard at first base, first and second with 2 outs. Had a lengthy 8 to 9 pitch at-bat that ended in a flyout. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Slider misses off the plate away for ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ray Hernandez playing a step and a dive away from the third base line. 6 holes open with Dom Presto. Nick Montagna, the middle infielders, pinching. Joe Muzio holding on the runner. Pause at the chest. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs outside for ball 3, 3-2. And time is called as a baseball has gotten away from the bullpen that's on the field down the left field line. Michael Woolley, short lead at first base, slowly extends out. Here's the pitch on the way to Carson Gross. Slider, tapper, right back to the mound. Throw to second is high for 1. The throw to first base, not in time at second base as the shortstop, Dom Presto, didn't land on the base. And so a throwing error by the pitcher and Devin Murray. And here comes Andrew Drum out to argue, but it did not look like that. Dom Presto didn't get his heel back on the bag at second. The high throw pulling him away. Part of the problem was Michael Woolley was coming in hard, sliding in at second base, so there was no real soft landing spot. And so a throwing error by the Elmira defense. Error number 20 of the season so far. And the Doubledays still have a gift now with Tommy Roldan, the hitter. Well, it's a ground ball to the arm side of Murray. Has to spin and throw awkwardly on the downslope of the mound. Just sends a high throw to Presto, who is able to still come up with the baseball and send a strong throw to first base to try and at least get 1 away. Michael Woolley wasn't moving anywhere from the bag as the first pitch is sent foul with Tommy Roldan. It was a good look from the field umpire. He was right there at the bag, had his eyes on the play the entire time, and saw the heel not come down on the base. Best opportunity for the Doubledays so far in this one. Here's the 0-1 to Roldan. Slider misses down low for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, right-hander is starting to get loose in the Elmira bullpen. Little pause. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Slider misses out and away for ball 2. 2-1 now to the Doubledays 2-hitter as the rain's still pouring here. Coming down once again a little bit harder inside Dunn Field. Woolley and Gross take their leads. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball taken for called strike 2. And the count will even up at 2-2. 7 RBIs so far in the summer for Tommy. Batted .342 entering into this ball game. Working out of the back pocket is Dom Presto on Woolley. The pitch on the way. Slider sent on the ground. Takes a jump over the glove of Joe Muzio into right field. Michael Woolley getting the wave on. The throw to the plate is wide. Not in time. Tommy Roldan moves into second base with Carson Gross heading to third. And the Doubledays take advantage of the defensive error by Elmira. And Woolley just ahead of the tag at home plate. And it is now a 4-1 Elmira lead. RBI number 8 on the summer now for Tommy Roldan. He moves up to second base on the throw to the plate. And the infield now has come in for Elmira. Base Christian Malillo as a first pitch fastball gets a swinging and a miss. No balls and a strike to the Doubledays 3-hitter. Well, we've seen Christian Malillo pretty much play up and down this batting order, as low as 7 and now as high as leadoff, and this is his first time batting in the 3 spot this season, as he sends a baseball down the right field line foul towards the Elmira bullpen. No balls and 2 strikes. And Christian has had one hot couple of days so far, especially against the Pioneers 4 for his last 7. Infield has now dropped back and away. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Is swinging a little in between ground ball, and they'll have Tommy Roldan caught between second and third. He's going to slam on the brakes, trying to avoid a tag. He is out in between second and third, but a run does come in to score on the RBI fielder's choice by Christian Malillo, gross in, and that will bring up Bobby Stang with 2 away. That's a fielder's choice, 6-5. So second run in for the Doubledays. They have cut this deficit in half. 4-2 now our score. And Bobby Stang looking to keep this inning going. He is 0 for 1 with a flyout to right his first time up. First pitch sent foul down the first baseline, out of play. Michael Woolley started this whole inning off with an infield single, and then Carson Gross ground ball to the pitcher at a high throw. Put runners at first and second, then an RBI single by Tommy Roldan. And the fielder's choice hit by Christian Malillo as he goes off for second. Throw is taken for a strike. The throw to second base, not in time on a skip. Christian Malillo swipes second base. That is stolen base number 4 of the summer, tying Carson Gross and Tommy Roldan for the Doubledays lead. Now Auburn has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Bobby Stang took that breaking ball over the plate for a called strike 2. 2 away. Another run sits at second. The 0-2 pitch is a breaking ball off the back foot for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bobby with a team lead in RBIs at 18. Murray pauses. Working off the bag below. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a high pop-up into center. Moving in and making the catch. For out number 2. As that will bring up now Garrett Prosper. Two away and a runner still stranded at second base. Prosper representing the time of the 4th. Infield playing straight up and a little bit more to the pull side for Prosper, with the second baseman, Nick Montagna, playing just a little bit more into the 4-hole. Don Presso, the shortstop, playing just a hair more up the middle. Ray Hernandez playing well off the third baseline, but still an open 6-hole. As a first pitch fastball is taken on the outer third for a called first strike, 0-1. Well, good answer back inning for the Doubledays after going down 4. Scrapping 2 runs back in the 4th inning. The possible third sitting at second base. Little pause. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss on a good wipeout slider. Gets Prosper hacking, and there's now 2 strikes on him. Malillo short lead at second base, slowly working out. Murray from the third base side of the rubber takes a look into Bartonstein. He gets his sign. He comes set. Takes a look over at Christian with his lead. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Slider slapped foul down the third base side and off in towards the picnic area. Auburn looking to come back in this one and swing that season series back into Auburn's favor, which is still at 2-1. 4th game between these two foes. Christian works his lead off second. The 0-2 pitch on the way, swing a line drive, send it to center field for a base hit. Melillo's getting the turn around third base. Here's the throw, going to be cut off. And Christian Melillo takes a step on home plate. Garrett Prosper comes up with 2 outs and an RBI single. And now this deficit is now just 1 run at 4-3. Well, Prosper just staying alive after a couple of good sliders from Devin Murray. And he just slaps a little base hit up the middle, low and away, fastball or a slider. Just catches it off the end of the bat. And it falls in for a base hit into center field. Kevin Nost, the outfielder, was charging in hard, but there was no shot. As soon as that ball hit the outfield grass, it just died. So 3 runs in for the Doubledays here in the top half of the 4th inning, and that will bring up the catcher, Jake Bolin. Prosper, short lead at first base, not a lot of speed there. First pitch slider catches the outside corner for a called strike 0-1. A really good inning played so far from the Doubledays offensively, scraping runs and manufacturing something that they weren't able to do for the first 3 innings. As I move over to first base, Prosper in standing. Well, yesterday, leaving 12 runners on base, having every opportunity to come back against Niagara. As a swing and a miss on his changeup gets pulled the string on Jake Bolin, and now there's 2 strikes on him. Well, if it gets to him, Christian Bauman would be due up next. 7 batters have come to the plate here in the top of the 4th for the Doubledays. The 0-2 pitch is sent foul back to the screen, and so we'll try it again at 0-2. All that rain has started to finally clear the area as there is a sharp wind blowing out to straightaway center field. The flag is blowing straight out to the hills behind the big center field wall. Short lead at first base by Prosper, slowly extending. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way to Bolin, and taken for a called third strike on the inside corner to retire the side. But the Doubledays strike back and get 3 runs. They bring this deficit down to a lone run. It is now 4-3 Elmira. Well, that closes the book on Sam Huff tonight. There was 3 innings, gives up 3 hits, 4 runs. Only 2 of those were earned. Walks 1 and struck out 4 as Simon Aluko will take the baseball for the Doubledays in his 4th appearance of the summer so far. He will be tasked with taking care of the meat in the order. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Pioneers. Ray Hernandez, Dom Presto, and Kevin Nos. Well, Doubledays were able to get some runs back in the 4th inning. 3 runs to be exact, and it was a wild, wild finish. Started out with a slow little bunt single by Michael Woolley. A throwing error by the pitcher with Carson Gross hitting. And a base hit by Tommy Roldan puts runners at 2nd and 3rd. Then an infield fielder's choice by Christian Malillo brought in another run. Malillo stole 2nd base, and then Garrett Prosper sent a base hit up the middle. We are sitting at a 3-4 ball game as Ray Hernandez steps in 1 for 1 with a triple and a run scored back in the 2nd inning. He sent a deep fly ball to straightaway center field just in front of the Susan M. Minchkin Family Dentistry sign in dead center field. Bauman gave a good look at it but couldn't catch up with the fly ball as the first pitch fastball on the outside corner gets a swing and a foul down the 3rd base. No balls and a strike. As you mentioned, the slight struggles against the Doubledays for Hernandez, but he was able to torch up a good heater from Sam Huff as a good slider by Aluko gets a swing and strike, 0-2. Well, Simon really found the feel for the baseball back against the Geneva Red Wings. He took over in relief for Sam Huff as Hernandez sends a high, towering foul ball down the right field line, and it ends up into some poor folks' backyard. Mentioned it's 325 with a 20-foot high tall wall down both the fair lines, left field and right field, and it jets out to 380, 390-ish. We don't have an exact sign, but according to Google Earth and the measurement tool, that's what we have for the dimensions. Here's the 0-2 pitch, foul tip off the shin guard of Jake Bolin, so we'll try it again at 0-2. Simon was really able to get the confidence back up against that struggling Geneva offense, shut him down for his couple of innings of work. The 0-2, swinging another foul ball, that one off the shin again of Bolin, so we'll try it at 0-2 with Hernandez still battling. Well, it wasn't the start that Auburn was looking for back in the bottom of the 2nd and bottom of the 3rd inning, but the offense came right back alive and were able to manufacture a run any way you can. Here comes the 0-2. Slider slashed down the right field side and hitting off the facade of the retaining wall. Still no balls and 2 strikes. As you mentioned, we'll have a day off tomorrow before we welcome the Newark Pilots back to Falcon Park. That'll be a 7:05 first pitch. Aluko looks in. Here comes the 0-2. Swing, line drive, floating down the left field line, but it slices foul. Ray Hernandez putting up a good fight against Simon Aluko. Outfield playing straight up and just a shade back. Hernandez 1 home run on the summer, 6 runs batted in. He's 8 for 37. Aluko looks in. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3 off the glove of Bolin. He's not going to have a throw to first base as Ray Hernandez is in at first base with a drop 3rd strike. Pass ball by Jake Bolin puts a runner on at first base, and now the Doubledays are going to have to get 4 outs in the inning. I'll bring up the shortstop, Dom Presto. RBI ground out to shortstop his first time up. Doubledays will take another ground ball to the shortstop to just erase that drop 3rd strikeout. First pitch, fastball taken downstairs for ball 1. Well, there's a lot of controversy behind the drop 3rd strike. A There's a good amount of heads who believe that the drop third strike should be taken out of the game entirely. Long look, here's the pitch on the way. Fastball again off the glove of Bolin, and it gets away. Now Hernandez moves up to second base, and we're starting to see the problems that Jake Bolin had back on the home opener on June 3rd against the Niagara Power, as he's been so strong with receiving ever since that game. Really looked like he turned a corner, but now a couple of fastballs have gotten away from him, and now there's a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Aluko looks to second. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Good. Looks like a little splitter running off the arm side. Gets a swinging strike from Presto. Oh for 4 against the Doubledays with an RBI ground out. Swing and a miss, and that one gets away from Bolin once again. A fastball in the dirt. Hit right off the tip of the shin guard in. There's a runner now at third base, all because of a couple of pass balls. That one probably could have been more argued as a wild pitch with a slider getting spiked in the dirt. So Insurance waiting 90 feet away with nobody out. Aluko has been able to even up the count at 2-2. Takes a look into Presto, working out of the right-hand side. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing a ground ball to shortstop. Gross has got it. Sends a throw this time on the target for out number. So the drop third strike and a couple of pass balls come back to hurt Auburn. Second RBI of the ball game for Presto. So in reality, there should be 2 away, but now there's 1 out and a run in. Fastball taken maybe just a tad off the outside corner for a called first strike, 0-1. Well, it's not the cleanest game defensively for the Doubledays so far in this one. Here comes the 0-1. Slider stopped in the dirt. Count will even up at 1-1. Well, Auburn has been only able to play 1 clean game defensively. That was back in Geneva, where the team scored 16 runs. They didn't give up a single error on defense. That fastball misses down and in for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. .405 start time here on this Sunday afternoon. Here comes the 2-1. In the dirt for ball 3, 3-1 now. Well, Doubledays so far against teams above 500. Auburn now sits at 4-6. 4-2 against teams below 500. Here's the 3-1. Fastball off the end of the glove once again from Jake Bolin. And ball 4 as Kevin Noss gets a free bag. He's now aboard at first base, and that will bring up Nick Montagna. Montagna reached first base via an error back in the 3rd inning, where bulk of those runs for Elmira came. First pitch, fastball misses in the dirt for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Bolin's just having trouble picking up the baseball out of the arm of Simon Aluko. Does have an interesting arm slide, especially when he works from the third base side of the rubber on right-hand bats. We'll pause to look the runner at second, rather at first, as a fastball misses up and away for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. This is Bolin's second chance at catching Simon Aluko in a game. caught him back on that home opener. Short lead at first base. Here's the 2-0. That fastball catches the knees for a called strike at 2-1. Well, Simon's been a pretty solid left-handed option for Ben Julian so far. Hasn't had a ton of opportunities to get work in. But over the last couple of days, he certainly has earned his keep as a good fastball runs off the outside corner for a swinging strike, 2-2. Just keeping the walks down, having just a little bit more control in the zone, and compared to that first outing we've seen Iluko, he's been looking a lot sharper. Here comes a 2-2 pitch on the way, taken just off the outside corner for ball 3. Noss with 3 stolen bags over at first base takes his lead. Here's the pitch on the way. Runner takes off, swing and miss, and there'll be no throw to second base. Kevin Noss got a good jump. Stolen base, number 4 of the summer. Second strikeout of the innings now, and that will bring up Spencer Auburn. Auburn as well reached on a throwing error back in the 3rd inning. Healthy crowd on hand here for this Sunday afternoon in Elmira. As the first pitch misses out and away for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Elmira was entering into this game losers of their last 3, trying to snap that 3-game skid. The Doubledays, with a loss last night, were on a winning roll, especially in the early week, as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed on the outer edge. 1 ball and a strike evens the count. Auburn getting confirmation from the home plate umpire on if it would have been a strike anyways. Home plate umpire with a nod of the head. 1 strike, good speed awaits at second base. Brody working the runner back. 1-1 pitch is sent, line drive, and it's past the glove of Brody into right center field. That's going to bring home another run. Rounding first, heading for second. The throw to second base, and it is in time to get Spencer Auburn trying to get an extra bag. Tommy Roldan sends a throw to Carson Gross, but another run comes across to score. 2 runs in for Elmira. They have a 6-3 lead going to the top of the 5th inning. Moving forward now to the top half of the 5th inning, Christian Bauman, Jake Houts, and Riley Brody, 7, 8, and 9 due up against Devin Murray, still out for another inning of work. We did have a right-hander getting loose in the bullpen for Elmira last inning. He has since sat down since then. Bauman 0 for 1 with a strikeout. First pitch fastball catches the knees for a called first strike, 0-1. Lefty versus lefty matchup. Infield shifted well towards Bauman's pull side. As that fastball catches the outer edge for a called strike. Bauman with a little shake of the head. He thought that one was just a little more off the plate. Now in an 0-2 hole. Here's the 0-2. Check swing on a slider. Does he go around? No, he does not. Home plate umpire is going to swipe some of the extra dirt off of home plate. We've already seen a first base umpire ring up a batter on a check swing, and they're going to do it again. Ben Julian is heated in the third base coach's box. That's the second time we've seen a field umpire from the first base side call a left-handed hitter out on a swing. You don't really have much of a view down there. You can kind of see the barrel of the bat extend, but it didn't look like Bauman extended the hands, and it took forever for an appeal to get called as a first pitch fastball to Jake Houts gets called strike one on the inside edge. Now strikeout number 6 as time is called as that one hits Jake Houts on the knee. The Doubledays will have a hit by a pitch runner aboard at first base for Riley Brody. I can tell Ben Julian is still heated over at third base. He hasn't dropped eye contact with the field umpire. Now he's finally sends a couple of signs to the runner in Houts and the batter in Riley Brody. Big hole on the right side of the infield as a first pitch fastball taken up and in for ball 1. It's just been an interesting couple of check swing appeals so far. Fastball, that one misses upstairs for ball 2, 2-0 on Riley. Flew out to right field his first time up, 0 for 1. Good hitters count at 2-0. Michael Woolley, the batter, due up next. Houts, a good lead at first. Here's the 2-0. That slider misses the outer edge for ball 3, and Murray was certainly a little more frustrated with that call, but that one did miss the outer edge. Really snappy with Brody Bartenstein, the catcher, really moving the glove to frame it. Here's a 3-0 pitch on the way. Up and in for ball 4, so the Doubledays work a couple of free passes. That will bring up one of the best hitters against left-hand pitching so far this summer in Michael Woolley. That is the first walk surrendered in the inning, or rather of the game for Devin Murray. Well, no one has gotten up and tossing yet in the Elmira bullpen, but you do see a couple of guys scurrying to grab a glove and a mask in the first base dugout. Another good opportunity for the Doubledays to crack the scoreboard as the first pitch is a slider downstairs to Woolley, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes, and Murray hasn't thrown a strike in a total of 6 pitches. Hit Houts on the first pitch and walked Brody on 4 straight. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Goes fishing for a slider in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike as Woolley steps out, readjusts the helmet, giving himself a self-talk before working his way back in the right-hand batter's box. Couple of looks over to the runners in Houts and Brody. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Slider, that one taken for a called strike 2 on the inner third. Top of the order, and Carson Gross awaits on deck. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. Healthy leads from the runners. The pitch to Woolley, swing and a miss. Strike 3 swinging. Second strikeout of the inning, strikeout number 7 of the ball game. And that will flip the order back up to Carson Gross. Carson 0 for 2 with a strikeout and then reached with an error. Later came around to score in the 4th inning. Houts with above average speed over at second base. Brody with good speed at first base. Anything into the gap, and you might see Brody get the windmill as a Slider misses down and in for ball one, 1 ball, and no strikes. Well, something we also noticed, especially over the last couple of visits here to Dunfield, the grass in the outfield certainly doesn't help the ball roll. Thick outfield grass just kills the baseball, and same with the infield as well, as the 1-0 pitch is a slider down low for ball 2. And now Murray sends palms up to the home plate umpire, asking him where it missed. Brody Bartenstein off with the mask as well, asking the same question. And usually umpires don't like it when a pitcher tries to or at least visually show their frustrations. Runners working off the bags. Here's the 2-0. Outside for ball 3, 3-0, and Murray's control has certainly started to become a factor. Well, let's see if he'll still let him go and face the next batter in Tommy Roldan if it gets to him. Gross most expectantly going to get the red light here with Murray struggling on the mound. The 3-0. Slider, that one just catches the inside corner for a called strike 3-1. Let's see if he'll reduplicate and double up with that slider. It's been good against right-handed hitters so far, getting him fooled, swinging over it. Brody comes to his lead at first. Houts his lead at second. 3-1 pitch and another slider sent into the Doubledays dugout foul. Now the runners will get a head start on 3-2 with 2 away. As soon as Murray starts to make his motion towards the plate. So anything in the gap, Brody should be able to trot home. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Runners healthy leads. They get a head start. The pitch on the way. Swing. Line drive into left field for a base hit. Houts is getting the wave on. He's going to score. The throw cut off. And the Doubledays get one back on an RBI single by Carson Gross. It is now 6-4 Elmira. And now that right-hander is back up throwing once again as Murray is still chatting with the home plate umpire. Looks like they might want an appeal. And never mind, the baseball will get thrown back into the mound. Old Roldan, the hitter, now due up. Murray is still out for another batter, especially with the left-hander. There's the first pitch. Breaking ball catches the knees on the inside corner for a called first strike, 0-1. Tommy, an RBI single back in the 4th inning. He was cut down in between second and third on a fielder's choice. 0-1 is popped up on the infield in foul territory. Both the pitcher and Murray, the third baseman Hernandez, were giving it a chase. They come up empty, and now Roldan's in an 0-2 count. Brody, the runner at second. Carson Gross, the runner at first base. Roldan, a lot of power at the plate, looking for something to drive with 2 strikes regardless. Well, we've seen him poke about a 400-foot baseball without a stride. Runners take their leads. Murray looks at the runners. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way to Roldan, swinging a ground ball over to first base, and backing up and taking it is Joe Muzio. The flip to second base, gets away, but not far enough away for a run to score. An error on the throw by the shortstop, Joe Muzio. It looked like it was going to be as simple as getting a flip to the pitcher and getting out of the inning. But the second error committed by this Elmira defense puts runners on every base with 2 outs for Christian Melillo. Error number 21 for this Elmira Pioneers defense, and this has been something of a struggle for the whole year for them. Their pitching can be so good, but if your defense can't pull the weight, certainly doesn't help as a first pitch slider catches the inside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Carson Gross representing the tying run at second base. Melillo been a red-hot hitter over the last couple of ball games. Here's the 0-1. Slider, check swing. Does he go around? Yes, he does, says the home plate umpire. Throw gets away. Brody not jumping right off the bag as the ball was just barely knocked down. And An almost disaster of an inning still for Elmira, struggling to now throw the baseball just back to the pitcher. Not the cleanest of baseball games so far this season by both ball clubs. Bases packed for Melillo. 0-2, tying run at second. The pitch on the way, swing and a foul, staying alive. Christian, the switch hitter, batting from the right-hand side. 2 home runs on the season, both coming from the left side. One at Falcon Park against these Pioneers back on Friday night. Another one from the left-hand side back on Tuesday against Geneva. Pause. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Slider again, foul right off the shin top of Christian. Another foul ball walking off his leg. A little kick of the dirt before digging himself back in. Lengthy last couple of innings for both ball clubs. Doubledays put up 3 runs in the 4th inning and 1 run here in the 5th. Good speed everywhere. They take their lead. Melillo still battling at 0-2. Here's the pitch on the way. Taken just off the outside corner. Murray is still frustrated with the strike zone. That one looked like it was just nibbling off the outside corner, but a bold take by Christian. Lay off and stay alive for another one. That right-hander's hot and ready in the bullpen. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way to Christian. Melillo, swing and a foul tip, just staying alive. You want to talk about just catching a seam of the baseball. That was just enough to battle. Murray's been really trying to back foot that slider on right-handed hitters. Bobby Stang is the batter due up next if it gets to him. Auburn looking to see if they can tie this ball game up where it is. 6-4 our score, top of the 5th inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Slider misses off the outside corner. That one was well off the outside corner. Brody Bartenstein, the catcher, really pulling that one for a stretch and a half. Murray still really frustrated on the mound, but that one did miss off the outer edge. Well, this Elmira crowd starting to get into it as well now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 away, runners take their leads. The pitch on the way, swing, and another foul tip by Christian Melillo. What a battle from the Doubledays left fielder. Just no quit in this offense. Going down at 4 runs early. Answering right back, scoring 3. Dropping 2 more, and now with the tying run just sitting right behind the pitcher in Devin Murray. The left-hander comes set. Melillo choked up on the bat, tall stance. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way, swing, and another foul ball. And so we'll keep this one alive here at 2-2. And we've just lost count on how many pitches have been thrown so far this at-bat. Surely this has to be the last batter for Devin Murray. That bullpen's ready to go. The left-hander set. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a foul ball down the first base side, and that is going to get into the crowd. So the battle continues to brew here inside Dunn Field between the Doubledays' best hitter and Elmira's hard-throwing southpaw. Riley Brody aboard at first base with a walk. Carson Gross, RBI single at second. Timer rolled on, reached on an error. 2-2 pitch coming home. Swing and another ground ball foul. Keep it alive as Christian Melillo has to be well into double digits now. And time is called as a new bundle of baseballs is brought in by the bat boy for Elmira. We will try this again at 2-2. Christian's taken a lot of close pitches as well and spoiled a lot of really good pitchers' pitches. Runners take their leads. A left-hander working from the third base side of the slab. He comes set, closed off stance. Melillo choked up, standing high. The 2-2 pitch on the way, sent foul once again. Goodness me, how many more foul balls can Christian Melillo just squirt away? What a battle brewing here. Top of the fifth inning, Doubledays down 2. Here's the 2-2 once again. Swing, line drive, base hit, center field. Into scores Brody, getting away from the center fielder of the baseball. And Carson Gross is in to score. Christian Melillo battling up and able to serve a game-tying single in the top of the fifth inning to shock the fans here inside Dunfield. And here comes Andrew Drum to get his left-hander as the Doubledays chase Devin Murray after putting 3 runs up in the fourth and 3 runs up in the fifth. We will be right back here from Dunfield. The Doubledays have tied it 6-6. Oh, we're back here inside Dunfield, and Andrew Drum is still out at the mound, and now he's walking away with the home plate umpire after a couple of really close pitches by Devin Murray were thrown into Christian Melillo, and that is it. Andrew Drum has been tossed from this ball game after a long protest on balls and strikes behind the plate. Christian Melillo took a lot of really close pitches. One of those maybe would have been a strike on the inside corner, but that last slider for ball 2 definitely was a couple of pitches off the outer third. And Andrew Drum now is just getting his money worth staying behind. And he is certain, the home plate umpires and both crew are certainly hearing it. So our first ejection of the summer, and that probably was a time coming as Andrew Drum was certainly frustrated as he's going to call in the right-hander from the bullpen. So ultimately that long delay has certainly changed this ball game. We are all tied at 6-6 as a right-hander will come in. We'll tell you more about it when we come back. The Doubledays and the Pioneers all knotted in the top half of the fifth inning. What a turn of events as we welcome you back into Dunn Field. The Doubledays and Christian Melillo, about a 20 pitch or so at bat, delivers a 2-run game-tying single as Christian Zilli has taken over in relief as a move over to second base. Tommy Roldan back in standing. As Devin Murray lasts 4 2/3 innings, gives up 4 hits, 6 runs, 4 of those were earned, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. As the Doubledays finally chase the left-hander as the first pitch fastball zips in for a called strike. 0-1 on Bobby Stang. 7 runs in for the 7 batters have been sent to the plate for the Doubledays here in the top of the 5th. 0-1, breaking ball catches the knees for a called strike. 0-2. Bobby, a couple of pop-outs, 1 to right and 1 to center. 0 for 2 tonight. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball well off the outer edge for ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. A great inning for the Doubledays offense, scraping and clawing, getting any sort of momentum back in their favor as a 1-2 pitch upstairs for ball 2, 2-2. And it was looking like this game was just going to be another tough one to witness, especially with the sloppy 3rd and 4th inning. This offense has responded quite well. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strikeout number 1 for Zilli as he enters against Bobby Stang and gets the swinging strike 3 to retire the side. But the Doubledays get 3 of those back, and we are all tied up 6-6 here in the top of the 5th inning, going to the bottom half. Well, a new catcher to tell you about as Benji Reese has geared up and is now catching for Jake Bolin. As the Doubledays, 3 runs in the top of the 5th inning. They have tied this game up at 6-6. As the catcher, Brody Bartenstein, steps into the right-hand batter's box to lead things off for Elmira after that lengthy top of the 5th. Thanks in part to Christian Melillo. Darn near 20 pitch at bat as a first pitch swinging strike on the outer third. 0-1 the count. Bartenstein 0 for 2 in this one so far. A pop out to the third baseman Woolley and then a fly out to the right fielder Tommy Roldan. Here's the 0-1. That fastball just misses the inner third for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Devin McWaters has started to get loose in the Doubledays bullpen. Here's the 1-1. Slider, swing and a miss. A good one, fooling Bartenstein on the front foot. And we'll try it at 1-2. Here's the 1-2 from Aluko. Swing and a foul back to the screen. So we'll try it again at a ball and 2 strikes. was a couple of years ago where left-handed hitting Brandon Belt got pitch number 21, blackjack, for a base hit. That was the longest at-bat of his professional career, and it was very similar to the at-bat from Christian Melillo. As the 1-2 pitch on the way, fastball upstairs for ball 2, 2-2. A little bit of the shadows now playing a factor as the shadow from the overhang starting to creep just above home plate. Pause. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a check swing sent foul, so we'll try it again at 2-2. Well, there's a couple of other games going on in the PGCBL, but I don't think they're as up and down as this one has been so far for both sides. Not the prettiest of game on defensively, with both sides having 2 errors. 2-2 is sent on the ground. This is going to be a tough play. Woolley on the run, gloves it, throw on the run, and it is in time with a healthy stretch by Jake Houts at first base. Michael Woolley showing off the athleticism on a soft ground ball. It looked like Simon Aluka was going to try to make a run for it. Woolley calls him off, gets it on the run, and then in stride sends a dart over to first base, 1 away. And that will bring up John Schroeder. Well, Bartenstein has been quite quiet at the top of the order. Schroeder not so much. He had a base hit or stolen base in the first inning, and then an RBI double. He later came around to score in the third inning. He's 2 for 2 so far, trying to keep his bat off the bases. First pitch, fastball runs down low for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, we're almost approaching the 2-hour mark in this one. We just started a little bit after 4:05, and we're only through the halfway point of this one. The 1-0. Fastball rings on the inside corner for a called strike 1. It's not our longest game of the year. That was yesterday's, despite the rain delay and the umpire delay, as the 1-1 pitch is a slider that misses outside for ball 2, 2-1. That game was just a tick over 4 hours at 4 hours and 12 minutes. That game was supposed to start at 5:05. Umpires didn't show up, so we didn't get underway until around 5:25. Got through the first top half of the inning, and the rain just spat down on Falcon Park, and everyone had to duck for cover as the 2-1 pitch is sent foul down the first base side. And so we'll try it now at 2-2. That rain delay lasted darn near an hour and a half, and then the umpires finally showed up and kept the game delayed as well with thunderstrikes in the Auburn area. We were finally able to get that game underway just after. So that was supposed to be a doubleheader as a 2-2 pitch is sent foul down the first base side into the crowd. Now, we can't really see it from the booth because of where we're positioned, but a fan must have made a nice catch down the line. There was a nice healthy roar of the crowd. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. In the dirt for ball 3, 3-2. Doubledays and the Pioneers locked up at 6-6. Wasn't exactly the scoreline we were thinking it was going to be, especially the way these runs have came in. 3-2 pitch on the way, taken just off the inside corner for ball 4. So a 1-out walk will bring up Frank Wayman. 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a stolen base in this one so far. Check that as Matt Granado has taken the bat and is hitting for Wayman now. First pitch is in there for a called strike, 0-1. So pinch hitter now. As Matt Granado, we've seen him plenty of times so far through these first couple of games against the Pioneers, as that fastball misses off the plate and away for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Granado went 0 for 3 as a leadoff man back on Friday night. Aluko with a good move to first base. Back in with a dive, though, as John Schroeder. Already 2 hours into this ballgame, we still have a half of game left. As the runner starts to take off, Aluko steps off and throws the ball into center field as Schroeder takes a turn at second, and my goodness, we have seen maybe some of the most unfortunate defensive plays set this afternoon, as they had another runner dead to rights in between first and second. And the second time a runner makes his way in to second base on an early steal. 3 errors so far in the ballgame for the Doubledays. Fastball, that one catches the black for a called strike at 1-2. Well, Luco now has to work just a little harder to leave that runner stranded at second base. One away in the order looming. Couple of looks to the runner. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. A good fastball on the outside corner. Gets a foul tip in the glove of Benji Reese. 2 away, and that will bring up Joe Muzio, the first baseman. Third strikeout of the ball game for Simon Aluko, and he gets another opportunity with the lefty-lefty matchup. And Muzio is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts to his name. Schroeder takes his lead at second base. Aluko looks him back. First pitch, slider sent foul, and it's going to bang off the rooftops. As we mentioned, the Doubledays will have a day off tomorrow and then back at work on Tuesday night against the Newark Pilots. Gross works the runner back, now backs away to the 6 hole. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Good splitter running arm side. Gets the swing and miss over the bat of Muzio. No balls and 2 strikes. Aluko looking to finish his day up here with the right-hander. Elmira currently 4th in the West, a game back at 10-7 in a 3-game losing skid. The 1-2. Check swing off the bat, foul. Repeat at 1-2. Auburn sitting right behind them, 2.5 back. Lost the last night against the Niagara Power. This Doubledays team is starting to play a lot better baseball despite the not-so-clean defensive effort today. As the 1-2 pitch is a fastball that runs up and inside again at ball 2, 2-2. Luco swiping the quad side of his pants, trying to dry up his hand. Takes a look into Reese. He gets his sign. He comes set. Schroeder working off the bag at second. Long pause. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a pop-up on the infield. Michael Woolley calling everybody off. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. Elmira gets a runner to scoring position, but is left stranded. Now as we go to the 6th inning, the Doubledays and the Pioneers tied at 6-6. A fan favorite here in the PGCBL, the running of the kids behind the apron of the infield as Garrett Prosper digs in to begin the top half of the 6th inning with the Doubledays and the Pioneers knotted in a 6-6 draw. As a first pitch fastball taken on the outer third for a called first strike, 0-1. Auburn with 3 runs in the 4th inning and then 3 runs in the 5th inning to tie this one up as a slider catches the knees for a called strike 2. Garrett had the RBI single back in the 4th inning to bring that 3rd run in. Here's the 0-2. Swing, line drive, and right on the first base glove of the diving Joe Muzio. That looked like it was headed for the right field line. Instead, it's a quick first out as Benji Reese, pinch hitting for Jake Bolin, entered as a defensive replacement earlier on. Bolin was 0 for 2 entering into what would have been his 3rd at-bat. Reese grabs a bat. He had a double last night against Niagara as a first pitch slider catches the outside corner for a called first strike, 0-1. One away as a good slider on the inside corner gets Reese swinging and missing. Now down 0-2. And time is called as Benji wants an extra second in the box. Takes himself back in. Bartonstein, the catcher, was working to the outside edge. Sets up now inside. Here's the 0-2. That fastball runs off the inside corner. A good fastball. Just taken off the hands. Here's the 1-2. Slider sent foul, so we'll try it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mac Waters, the right-hander in the Doubledays bullpen, ready to take over in relief next inning. A right-hander has starting to get up and throw in the Elmira bullpen. The 1-2 pitch, fastball taken upstairs for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes evens up the count. Doubledays looking to get this win before heading into an off day as a slider misses in the dirt for ball 3. 3-2, the full count. Benji works all the way back from 0-2 to 3-2. Zealy ready. 3-2 pitch on the way. Slider off the inside corner for ball 4. So Benji Reese works a walk, and that will bring up Christian Bauman. And he is looking to get off the snide. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts so far. It is his last game as a member of the Doubledays for the foreseeable future. So he's going to head back home, take a couple of weeks off to rest, but he said he is wanting to come right back to this Doubledays team and finish what he has started here. As a first pitch fastball is grooved over the outside corner for a called strike 1. Reese, the catcher, at first base. Throw over to first base and back in with a dive. Benji not much of a lead. Could have just walked back if he wanted to. Clear blue skies now with still a couple of clouds in the area as a slider misses upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Christian launched his first home run back on Tuesday night against Geneva, hit halfway up the scoreboard in right field as a swinging strike on a changeup in the dirt. It's been a struggle over the last couple of ball games for Christian after he got off to a red-hot start. Has good numbers against the Pioneers so far this season. Has a 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs arm side off the outside corner for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a slow offensive start as well for Auburn this afternoon. 2-2. Fastball, rather maybe a cutter upstairs for ball 3. 3-2. And once again, back-to-back hitters down 0-2 have worked a full count. Jake Houts, the batter, due up next. Couple of looks. The 3-2. Swing and a pop-up on the infield. Bauman throws the bat towards the Double-A dugout. And Ray Hernandez almost loses touch with the baseball. Glides over close to the second base bag. A little smile on his face as he just barely hauls it in. 2 away, and that will bring up Jake Houts. So the struggles continue for Christian Bauman as Jake Houts, he's still looking for that first hit in the PGCBL play since opening day as a slider catches the knees for a called first strike, 0-1. Jake goes to school at Mansfield University, just a short hour or so drive away as a slider misses down low in the dirt for ball 1-1. Met his family a couple of nights ago. They were in town for the Syracuse game, and they've been in town this whole week as a slider misses inside, almost gets the back of Houts. 2 balls and a strike now. Met his father, his aunts, and the rest of his family who are still here. And we'll head home after the conclusion of this one as a 2-1 slider. That one catches the inside corner. Houts shaking his head, not agreeing with the call. Benji still aboard at first base. A little pause and a couple of looks. Here's the 2-2 on the way. Swing and a foul tip. Jake able to just get a piece of the baseball. Lives to see another. Wind starting to blow out more towards right center field now with the Stars and Stripes going the more traditional way with the Stars in the top left corner. Couple of looks. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing, a ground ball, takes a kick off the mound. Houts has a pretty good running to first base, but the Pioneers elect to go the short way to second base and cut down, reset second base. Doubledays get a runner on, but leave him stranded. We now go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. We are tied up at 6-6. Well, Simon Aluko pitched quite well out of relief, going 2 innings, giving up 1 hit, 2 runs. Only one of those were earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts as Devin McWaters will take over in relief. Another this right-hander out of Charleston Southern, teammates with Simon, as he takes the baseball in a tie game here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. In a tie game at 6-6. Doubledays, 3 runs in the 4th, 3 runs in the 5th on 5 hits, 2 errors. For Elmira, 1 run in the 2nd, 3 runs in the 3rd, and 2 runs in the 4th on 6 hits and 2 errors as well. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up with Jake Keller to lead things off, the extra hitter. He is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts as the right-hander brings the windup, and the first pitch, fastball, misses upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball, and no strikes. Well, we've seen Devin nibble up in towards the mid to upper 80s. Lives around 85, 86 as The 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed on the outside corner for a swinging strike at 1-1. If you're also just joining us, we had an ejection. Andrew Drum, the manager of the Elmira Pioneers, was slow to make a pitching change as well as get his money's worth from the home plate umpire on a couple of close pitches that were ultimately called balls to Christian Malillo, battling with 2 strikes, and then delivered a game-tying single as a swing and a miss on a good hard fastball on the outside corner. Gets Keller in a 2-strike count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mac Waters looking just over the glove fanned out in front of his face. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs near the tower. Count will now go full to 3-2. Keller off with the batting gloves, readjusts himself for digging into the right side. 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts in this one so far. As a 3-2 pitch on the way, taken just upstairs for ball 4. Mac Waters a little shake of the head. Now a little stare down from the right hand. A leadoff walk, and that will bring up Ray Hernandez. Hernandez, a triple and a run scored, and then a drop third strike. He later came around to score on a couple of pass balls, and then a ground out by the batter up next. Healthy lead over at first base by Keller. 2 stolen bases on the year as a first pitch slider catches the outside corner for a called first strike, 0-1. Go into their off day with a victory in hand and get back to a game above